everything. I wish I could use a bathroom on my own.
Okay. That's a pretty big one,
I
though.
might kill someone to get that back. Like,
Oh, so you're gonna change your answer now?
like I could still do the wheelchair, but if they give me the bathroom stuff back, I don't know. I might be like, that stranger could go.
Okay, I feel like at the end of the episode, we're gonna be pressing that button like 20 times.
Boop, 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 boop. No
Yeah,
one ever
go.
teaches you how to handle like a period with a disability. It's different. Like sitting, I don't know, just different. Everything's different, and it's annoying, and nobody ever talks to you about that stuff. And I'm like, how do you navigate this? I be asking girls. Sometimes I get responses. Sometimes people like don't want to talk about it. But like every month, like it's never the same. And I know it's based around that. I've always had a bad period. So maybe some girls who don't, they don't experience that. But I think anyone. And then I feel like when you get a disability, it's like I'll have weeks where I won't piss myself at all. And then I'll just have weeks where I'm just pissing myself the whole week. And I'm like, what is going on? I just had this under control last week. I just had this under control last week. And I just get so frustrated. But I also like talk to my urologist and he's like, well, you're a woman, bodies work different. This is how, like, I'm like, he's like, maybe that week you have to do the calf a little more. I'm like, what? What? Like, on top of just experiencing like the regular symptoms of that as a woman, I'm also now experiencing more with the disability, like the spasms, the pain, like throughout my whole entire body. And it's just, it hurts. And I just feel like nobody talks about that.
So, like, what advice do you have then for like a woman that's just, I guess, starting, who just became a paraplegic, or I guess he came into the wheelchair?
Like, how to use the bathroom. I just would do anything to be able to just sit on the fucking toilet and take a nice piss, like, and be like, oh, I did that on my own. Like, instead of taking out the
Yeah, you have.
catheter, having to find, my urethra, like, that's just so tedious and sometimes so annoying. And think about a girl, and I started explaining the women. I was like, you have something else that you just stick. Girls have to literally open up behind ours. Like, it's a whole different thing. And he was like,
Yeah,
oh,
like I.
I didn't even think of that. I'm like, stupid. Like, and that's like, imagine like I'm doing that every time, looking at a mirror, and when I'm on my period, I'm just looking straight into like all the graphic alert. But still, like, I don't know, dating with a disability, you're always, most of the chances are you're probably the first person with a disability that they're dating. And that's like sometimes a little annoying because I feel like I have to educate them while but also not like giving too much information. And then also like he felt like a little uncomfortable with things. And then it's also like, do you drop them when they feel uncomfortable? Or also like I have to remember it took me a long time to be comfortable with these things. Why do I expect
Mm-hmm.
someone else to be comfortable right off the bat?
Hello, welcome to my podcast, Two Mics, One Joe Suit. I am Joe Suit, and I'll be giving a mic to Nikki. Nikki is a badass in the wheelchair. She became a paraplegic on March 17, 2019, due to a car accident. It's a unique story because she has a twin who also got injured, but we don't got time for that. This is Nikki's
Sure.
episode. Let's start off with a question. If you could press a button to be fully healed, but a random person had to die on the planet, would you press it?
Oh shit. I'm like, the first instinct was like, people die every day.
Well, yeah, but but you wouldn't know the person or anything. It's
I
a random
know that's
person.
so bad. But then, like, what if it's someone that I love?
I mean, that is just totally random. Okay. I'll give you some. Let's say it's not someone you know, just a random person.
Oh, that's so hard. It's like, that's so bad. But, like, people die every day. Are they already sick? Do they have a death wish?
They're no, they're just a regular person. They just
Um,
drop off and they just drop dead in the middle of a street with no
that's sad.
reason.
No, that's sad. I don't think I could do it.
No,
I don't think I could do it.
okay,
I wouldn't be able
okay.
to live with it. Sounds
But
nice.
you would be You would be so good though, but it's totally up to you.
Like everything would be healed.
Yep, you would be exactly the way you were before the accident.
I don't know if I want to be exactly the way I was.
Well, okay, like a better.
A better version.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
You're like best case scenario. What do you do?
I wouldn't say, but I don't want to put it too high up. But let's just say like before the accident, and then maybe like 5 to 10% better. Let's do it that way.
I don't know because I don't know if I can live with that. So probably no. I wouldn't be able to kill someone or like know that someone's
Okay,
dying because my healing. It wouldn't
okay,
feel
you have a
good.
good heart. I'm,
My mind
I know,
would
but like
go crazy.
yeah, but at the same time, you wouldn't even be thinking about it. You'd be jumping all over the world and shit,
No, but I
and
would
can.
think about it. I'd be like, wow, I killed someone. I killed someone. Just to be
I mean,
healed.
it's like an indirect kill though. It's not like you're actually pointing a gun at somebody.
Still, I couldn't do that.
Okay,
I'm not killing anyone in any
I
shape, way, or form.
okay. I totally respect your decision. I would do it again and again,
I would do it.
just because, like you kind of said that people die randomly. So like,
I know I thought
let's
about
have
it.
let them die in vain. You know, they had a reason why they had to die. You know, so it makes me feel better. Like they helped me feel better about myself, and I can live with that. You know.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I have here you were a preschool teacher. So can you like talk to us for the rest of the episode like we're 5 years old?
Let me not do that. I'm gonna annoy myself and everyone. Hello,
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm not a bit. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the baby talk, honestly. But hey, that if there's something that's complicated to explain, please talk to us like we're 5 because
See,
I have a
I feel like
wide
I wouldn't
range.
talk to you like a baby, but it'd be like the teacher voice, when you're a teacher, every teacher has a
Yeah.
teacher voice, and then they have their outside voice.
So how are you talking me to now? Are you talking to me in between?
Touching you like my normal voice, not
Okay,
like
I see you.
children voice.
Okay, fair enough. So when this episode is released, it will be 4 years since the accident. How are you handling the huge detour in your life?
I'd say up and down. Probably better than maybe I thought I would in the beginning. Yeah, so pretty well. Feel like it's just life. Have my days and I have my good days, I have my bad days, and I just keep going.
When you say good and bad days, is it dependent on your mood really, or is it dependent on your body? Because we all know when we have a disability, our body never the same twice. It's always like it just wants to fuck us up somehow for some dumb reason.
I could definitely say it has more to like with my body. Like I'll wake up in a good mood. I'll be feeling good and then like one thing happens and it just I feel like trajectory of like the whole day is like messed up or you start feeling pain and you start feeling it everywhere. And that'd put me in a bad mood because I like to be spontaneous, but with the disability it's really hard to be spontaneous in any shape, way, or form, and that sometimes really gets to me. And then I'm like, oh, that was a mistake. Probably shouldn't have done that. But yeah, so things like that.
Well, well, I think you're trying to touch the topic of having spoons that let you have a limited amount of spoons. Let's say per week, and some days you'll spend more spoons than others, and you're kind of that your is your life consistent that you can kind of know where your limits are, or is it more vary throughout the week that sometimes you just have no idea and you kind of do like do you space your life out to do anything, or do you just want to do everything you can right away and then take a break when you have to?
Yeah, kind of like that. I think I do everything and then I take a break when I have to, when it kind of just knocks me out. Trying to get better at that because I know I could push my limits uh, a lot. But that's, I think, sometimes just being in the mindset of like, I still want to do things how I used to, but then I have to like accept the fact that my body is nowhere near the same. Like, I've never experienced the amount of pain that I experience now. And sometimes it's like, yeah, I just wouldn't wish this on anyone. And some days I'm just like, it's really freaking annoying and frustrating. Like, today I'm having a good day.
Well, is it?
So even just talking about this, I'm like, today I'm not in pain. But like yesterday, if we were talking, this would have been a different story. I was hurting like so much. I was over it.
Maybe you were excited to talk to me. I don't know. Like, so, like, before the accident and then afterward, do you feel like you're the same person? Like, do you still have, like, the same goals and, like, things you want to do, or have you had to change your way of, like, other thing that you appreciate more or enjoy more?
I definitely feel like I changed. Definitely feel like I changed. I sometimes I feel like I was living like a whole different life. Like even though I wasn't, like I still have like similar friends and stuff, but it's just like life's a lot different now. Like it looks a lot different. Like I said, it can't be as spontaneous. It's interesting because I live in Chicago, so it's interesting to not be able to be in the snow. Like as like in the wheelchair, just to get stuck. So I'm like stuck inside and I'm not used to that. Like I used to take the bus everywhere, so I'd be walking in that snow and like all like in the weather. And now sometimes it's weird to just look outside and be like, I literally physically can't go do that. And I know that sounds like sometimes I'm like think that I'm like it sounds so stupid to think that way, but it's just I don't think people even think like how much limits your life has once you like sustain a disability. I think they just think that like I don't know, it can be frustrating those parts.
It's kind of like your brain wants you to do something, but, like, the other part of your brain is like, no, I can't because, like you were mentioning, like, snow, like, once it's snowing for me, I don't even go out because I don't know how it is in Chicago, but, like, the curbs are not, like, wheelchair accessible. Like, it's okay for a human because they're smaller, but wheelchair is not. And, like, I can't do curbs or anything. So, like, if it snows, maybe like 6 inches, okay, maybe like a foot, I can't go out just because of that. Like, what do you wish you could do, but you can't do anymore?
Hmm. Which I could do but can't do anymore. That's a good question. Did everything. I wish I could use a bathroom on my own.
Okay, okay. That's a pretty big one,
I
though.
might kill someone to get that back. Like,
Oh, so you're gonna change your answer now?
like I could still do the wheelchair, but if they give me the bathroom stuff back, I don't know. I might be like that stranger could go.
Okay, I feel like at the end of the episode, we're gonna be pressing that button like 20 times.
Boop, 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 boop. Okay,
No, I
that
totally get.
frustrates me. No
Yeah,
one ever
go.
teaches you how to handle like a period with a disability. It's different. Like sitting, I don't know, just different. Everything's different, and it's annoying, and nobody ever talks to you about that stuff. And I'm like, how do you navigate this? I be asking girls. Sometimes I get responses. Sometimes people like don't want to talk about it. But like,
You be willing to talk about it now because I know so much about this?
you know so much about it. All the girl stuff.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. I don't mind talking about it. So, like, what does, let's dive in? Not literally, I guess. Okay, hmm. So, like, what changes do you have to make differences now you're in a wheelchair and you deal with periods, for example? Like, what had changed for you?
Well, it's just like naturally for women, our bodies change when we're on our period. Like that's normal for anyone, any woman, disabled or not. And
Mm-hmm.
I think when you have a disability, like you could be having like a fine like time throughout the month, but then it's like the week leading up, you notice your body's changing and things are changing. Maybe you're feeling different, like I'll feel different type of nerve pain because women we go on like a 4 week period. So each week we feel different and I feel that in my body every month. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's never the same. And I know it's based around that. I've always had a bad period. So maybe some girls who don't, they don't experience that. But I think anyone. And then I feel like when you get a disability, it's like I'll have weeks where I won't piss myself at all. And then I'll just have weeks where I'm just pissing myself the whole week. And I'm like, What is going on? I just had this under control last week. I just had this under control last week. And I just get so frustrated, but I also like talk to my urologist and he's like, "Well, you're a woman, bodies work different. This is how like I'm like he's like maybe that week you have to do the calf a little more." I'm like, "What? What?" Like and I feel
It's,
like there's always like one set all, like a one weighted and there's not. I don't know. There's really not, especially with women and the way our bodies work. At least when it comes to like a disability, like even having your period, you spasm more. I don't really like doing much when I'm on that, but you still like life still is going on. So like, what are you supposed to do? Like on top of just experiencing like the regular symptoms of that as a woman, I'm also now experiencing more with the disability, like the spasms, the pain, like throughout my whole entire body, and it's just it hurts. And I just feel like nobody talks about that.
no,
Sorry, just got it
loving this. No, I'm loving this. I just love being educated about this because I never realized it would be such a. I never realized it was such a I guess a traumatic feeling for you when you're on a period. Because I know like periods, all women say periods suck, but I never really like put you with your nerve pain and chronic pain, mixing with a period and like combining it together into this ultimate force of nature that you have to deal with. And then like you were saying, like it's unpredictable too. So like sometimes you pee and then sometimes you don't,
yeah.
and such. It's like
And
what the
that's
fuck.
the same with your bowels, like when you're on your period. And that's like normal for any woman, able-bodied or not. Like when we're on our period, things are different for anyone. And it's just so interesting to like navigate that um with a disability.
So like, what advice do you have then for like a woman that's just, I guess, starting, who just became a paraplegic or I guess just became into the wheelchair?
Honestly, my biggest thing is like listening to your body because I don't know, I think when I first got injured, there was a lot of like nurses and doctors saying me put on a schedule, do it this
Hmm.
way, and I was like, that doesn't like work for everyone. Like in the when we get to the real world, when we're starting to do things, that's not. I can't go 6 hours if I'm drinking a water. And you're telling me to drink water like a gallon of water a day, but you're telling me to only go 6 hours a day. That's only 4 times a day. But you're telling me to drink a gallon of water.
Hmm.
And that just never made sense to me. And I think for me, I just started like doing things more. So for me, it was just listening to your body. Like, I think we know as humans what's best for our body. I'm also not really on many medication except for my bladder. And I really don't believe that those like medications do much for nerve pain. But maybe that's just in my head. But I didn't feel like they did anything. I feel like if you're still feeling it, what's the point of being on it if you're still feeling it, even if you're on the medicine? That in the long term, the medicine can get off. So that's another like, but I mean, maybe that's just me. And I also think as like women, our bodies just change so much. Like you just don't know what's working. So try to like eat healthy. I don't know. I just like listen to my body. That's like my biggest advice. So I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. Still figuring it out.
Yeah, even 4 years later, that's crazy. Like, do you feel like your body's still healing in a way, or do you feel like this is it?
I feel like my body's still like healing. Sometimes I see changes, like just like all like I just see changes every like I don't know. I see changes in my body every month. I remember the first year I was injured, I felt like I would have told you I had bad spasms. Now they don't really like move like that. I mean, unless I'm on my period. But like
Really, that's insane.
yeah, so I feel like my body's been still changing throughout the years and so sometimes it's like, am I healing or is it just the body changing? Because we're also getting older. Like I was injured at 24, so I'm also like aging with my disability now, like growing up with going into adulthood and going through body changes as an adult with a disability.
Yeah, we're gonna start. I mean, I'm 29, so I'm 1 year ahead, but we're gonna be start experiencing back pain at one point, and I'm just expecting like Advil as a gift for my 30th birthday. Just to deal with whatever happens. I'm like, it gonna get worse. on top of everything that we're dealing with now, like shit, like
Yeah.
I don't want to live anymore. Like, where's the button?
Not for yourself. I thought it was for the stranger.
Well, yeah, I will press the button and then I'll kill someone else. Like feel like the more we're talking, the more you like want to press the button.
Maybe. I think I did a little for the bathroom.
Yeah. So like you mentioned that like you wish you almost would press the button to go to the bathroom by yourself. So that means that you need help. Someone needs to help you go to the bathroom every single time.
No, I don't need help like with someone using the bathroom. It's just the fact like what you have to do with the spinal cord injury
Uh,
and like how to use the bathroom. I just would do anything to be able to just sit on the fucking toilet and take a nice piss, like, and be like, oh, I did that on my own. Like, instead of taking out the
yeah, you have.
catheter, having to find, my urethra, like, it's just so tedious and sometimes so annoying. And just,
Do you ever like? I guess. Do you ever like put it in the wrong hole? But if you're just like blind or in the dark or something,
oh,
or you just like.
yeah.
But then how when you're dealing with periods of that, I guess that would be the same for you. Then I guess it's easier than doing with a catheter, right?
Yeah, it would be easier than doing with a catheter because it's like, I mean, think about it. It's gonna be graphic. But think about it as I was explaining this one time. That's why I'm laughing because he's a male in the spinal cord injury space, and he was talking about like it's not that hard to calf. Like he was telling me that, and I was like, think about a girl, and I started explaining the women. I was like, you have something else that you just stick. Girls have to literally open up behind ours. Like it's a whole different thing. And he was like,
Yeah,
oh,
like I.
I didn't even think of that. I'm like, stupid. Like that's like imagine like I'm doing that every time, looking at a mirror, and when I'm on my period, I'm just looking straight into like all the graphic alert, all the blood. That's it's like it's just not like who wants to
Oh my
do.
god.
And I don't like blood at all. Like I'm not. I get disgusted, so I get.
I feel like I mean, as a woman, you kind of have to like deal with the blood,
Mm-hmm.
or like you're just not gonna have a good time.
You have no choice. We have no choice.
So do you have like a mirror on the floor, just like so you can make sure it's hidden properly?
Yeah, I have a little compact mirror, like little makeup mirror. I feel like every woman should have one of those. But it's interesting to hear that a lot of women don't even know what the urethra is.
I mean,
Like learn your
guy.
that goes back to learning your body for men and women. You should know your body parts.
I mean, women should know. I mean, male, whoever you are, should know your own body parts. So like, the big joke
Yeah.
in the audience of like the guy not knowing like where the clit is, and I'm like, it's right there. Like I don't know. I don't think it takes like a brain scientist to do it.
You can literally
I
do
don't know. Like,
research.
yeah, I mean, I think of course I know where it is, but like guys don't. I don't get it really because they also watch more porn, and it's like they show it right. I don't know. There's like a disconnect, right?
Yeah, like there really is a
Yeah.
disconnect with people like when it comes, I don't know, to our own bodies. It's kind of like mind-boggling.
Well, is it hard for you? Because I would think it's hard when it's on yourself, because you can't really like look down at it. Like you have to like use a mirror, and that's
Yeah, I use
difficult.
a mirror and stuff.
Like it.
See, I knew my body before my accident. Like, I was always really
Hmm.
fascinated by like the woman body. Like, I would study on periods and stuff. Like, that's why I know like the four, like we go through 4 weeks trial. Like, I just fascinated with the woman body, and I just don't. I would always be like amazed when people didn't know certain parts of their body. Like, how do you not know like there's the vulva and there's like all this stuff? How do you not know at least your own body, at least your own body parts? Like in the way that
I
it
don't.
operates.
I mean, I don't know either. I kind of do find it fascinating, but I mean, I don't know everything. Like I think like a guy would know what they need to know. Like that's like
Yeah.
the rest they can just like
You know the basics.
they get through life without. Yeah, like that's all you need to know. not everyone's fascinated about the body and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's totally fine. Like I know, but now since your body is more disabled, and I guess I can touch on this too. Do you feel embarrassed of your body now because it's such a different state?
I wouldn't say embarrassed of my body. Um,
Maybe not embarrassed is the right word, but maybe like more like what the fuck, and not as like in my case, I would say it's like what the fuck, and it's not. I think it's like beautiful in a way that's not beautiful like compared to like Brad Pitt, for example. But
what
it's like
is
a science marvel in a way. But like, what do you think of your body?
so personally, like I love my body, but I know, like I do notice the difference when I'm out, like in society, like from being an able-bodied adult to like a disabled woman, an adult, like how people view me differently, and sometimes that gets to me. Like it'll be like it's like frustrating, but it's also like my body is different. I have a wheelchair attached to me 24 fucking 7. Feels like this big old thing on my ass. And like you can't move it. So that sometimes can be frustrating. But then I also know I still have like some privileges like in the wheelchair that's probably some people don't get. And then so I don't know. Like I love my body, but I
Um,
know that it's different. It does piss me off sometimes when it don't cooperate with me. But we all right. We get along.
yeah, it just seems like you have a good self-esteem about yourself, and you're like sure of yourself.
Yeah, I
You
try to
do.
be. I think it's important. I don't know. I when I first got injured, one thing that I did was just always, even when I didn't want to, I just got myself like together and just try to make my space feel good because I think that's like important. But I had kind of already that imprinted in me before, so it was like easy to carry it on. And also like I love the body. I used to be a huge advocate like look at yourself naked in the body every day and you'll build confidence. And I still believe that as disabled people we should do that too. Like look in the mirror naked and just like compliment your body. Like, I don't know. Maybe I sound crazy, but I think it helps build confidence. I really do. Because it does change. Like I remember when I first saw my legs dangling, I was like, "Ooh, what's this? What's going on?" It was weird. It's different,
Well, like, do you feel like your disability is like a different entity of yourself?
kind of. Yeah, definitely, definitely changes mentally, physically. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm releasing an episode in the future of a talking about, and I feel like disability is like a different entity of ourselves, since a lot of people would hate their disabled self, but like they don't hate other parts, that they may hate other parts, but they don't really like hate them. It's really disability, and it's kind of a weird mind fuck, and you don't really understand it unless you're actually disabled. And it's a weird psychological that you hating a part of you, but not everything else.
Yeah,
And it's
it's
like
like I
weird
love
how to think about it.
like you love who you are to your core, like your spirit, I guess, but you don't so much love maybe the flesh part, like the your dangly legs or like things like that. Because sometimes I can, yeah, I can definitely feel that. Like it's definitely something to battle with. Like like sometimes if I have
Uh,
like accidents, I'll be disgusted in myself. But then at the same time, I'm like I'll get back dressed and I'm like, oh, you look real cute today, girl. Even though like I was just frustrated with things that my body like just did that pissed me off. It's weird. To,
yeah, I mean, I mean, being in the disabled community for a while, it's hard to get people confident because I think we're kind of similar to maybe we're confident like in our homes, and once we step outside and we like reality hits us with like society and stuff, and like we're looked down at just because we're in wheelchairs, and it kind of it's demeaning, but not most people don't like they're not doing it on purpose, if that makes sense. It's just the way like if someone's standing, they're looking down at you because that's how it is. So it just feels demeaning and like kind of. I Yeah, I didn't know like a lot are did not confident in themselves or just ashamed of their bodies, and I can totally understand why they would because just failing, and why would you want to show something that's kind of ugly, for example, like at all. But I think it's also important to like I don't know about you, but like I have naked portraits of myself on my phone because like I think for one I'm a very unique person, so like you'll never see this on the internet. Two, I kind of like the clout I get from it. That's always nice, and the attention. But yeah, I just think it's crazy, but also I don't know if like I don't care if I have really high self esteem, but like this is my body, this is it. I like showing it off. The problem I really have is that everyone else doesn't share the same sentiment.
It's like
Like they don't
everyone
want
is
to see
so
myself.
comfortable with it, but you aren't.
No, but I don't know. It's like a real. It's like, do I mind what everyone else sees because not everyone wants to see it. I think it's easier on Instagram because you're like, hey, you like it? You know, you can just like it and move on, or you can just block me and never see me again, which is totally fine. So it's like a weird, like, do I go? Do I be more? Do I show more skin, or do I not? Because I know my body is not an attractive thing to look at. Like I'm not a Brad Pitt. Like everyone wants to see Brad Pitt naked, but not me. You know?
That's interesting. That's interesting to think about. But I do. It's like you're confident, but the people, at least on the internet, maybe are uncomfortable or some like it too. Like, obviously, I don't know. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. That's what I tell the kids I babysit. uh,
I mean, I think like beauty also comes from what other people think of you too. Like you can,
yeah,
of course, you can be confident in yourself, but like you'll kind of judge somebody else. Like if you're like, I'm sure. I mean, like women get complimented all the time and guys do not, right? So like if a guy gets complimented one time, like hey, nice shirt, that guy would never get rid of that shirt, no matter how many holes it had or anything.
like,
He'll remember that comment for like the rest of his life, right? You know, and it's kind of like I don't like I would think like as a woman, let's say a woman dresses up and no one compliments them at all. Do you feel confident at the end of the night though?
I guess if I feel good, then yeah. But
You kind of want that outside reinsurance too, a little bit too, right?
like, I always like go to my sister and be like, "Do I look cute?" Like, so yeah.
Yeah, but that's cheating though. Of course you're gonna say you look good, no matter
She'll tell
what
me.
you look like.
She'll be like, "You look kind of crazy." She'll tell me. She'll tell me before I leave the house, so I can leave the house with confidence. She'll be like,
Okay.
you look crazy today, or like, you look good. Well, I was
What were you saying?
saying about that with like a friend, how as with a disability, I think we have privileges, like pretty privilege when we have a disability, and then there's people who have disabilities who maybe aren't deemed as like society standards of beautiful, and they're treated differently, and you can see it. Like you can see it when you're out and about. Even just overweight people in chairs, how they're treated compared to people who aren't overweight in chairs. It's very interesting if like people observe. And I was talking about that with a disabled woman in the community because it's it's true. Like I told her that I definitely feel like I have privilege being a prettier woman in society rolling around because people stop to help me. Like I never really have to ask to help. Like if the door is too heavy, someone's guaranteed probably going to open. Like, but it's that I notice like I've seen when someone doesn't look as put together in a chair, how people interact with them compared to how they have interacted with me. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you're aware of it too. Like some are just not aware of it. Talk about dating because I know you made a video about dating and stuff, and like I see you like going out on the town to get like some, you know, like mozzarella sticks, you know, etc. So like, how been your dating life then? Like, since your accident?
That has been very interesting to navigate. um, Super interesting. I was actually in a relationship when I first got injured.
Okay.
We lived together. That didn't end up working out. I moved back home after my accident with my parents. But after, like, I was like kind of thinking I wouldn't want to date. I ended up dating like a guy for a little bit, but it didn't end up working out. But it's still like, I don't know, dating with a disability, you're always, most of the chances are you're probably the first person with a disability that they're dating. And that's like sometimes a little annoying because I feel like I have to educate them while but also not like giving too much information and still trying to be cute. Like, or I don't know, it's just interesting to navigate. Like, it's super interesting to navigate. I do also wonder, does like sometimes do guys only want to talk to see if they could get like with the wheelchair girl really quick and say they did it, which sometimes annoys,
Okay.
which is something that
Never heard of that before.
maybe
Okay.
that's my therapist says maybe I have a little bit of internalized ableism, but like it's a real thought. I don't know, it's just a thought that crosses my mind because there is some grimy
Um,
here. So I don't know. It's interesting. I took like a year and a half off of dating and just focused on myself. And I recently started before the end of the year. And it's been interesting to start dating again. It's been interesting.
I mean, I think like what I feel like some disabled people fail to, I think, understand it that when you're disabled, I think comes with the territory of you're gonna have to constantly advocate for yourself for the rest of your life. So you were talking about when you would date these people, you have to explain yourself because you are the first person they probably ever dated disabled, and not everyone can know everything, and then also like you have women of different interests and different levels. Like, I'm not gonna mention your sister because it's not her episode, but she's in a much more severe case, but she has different needs than you are. So like, let's say he wants to date everyone in your family, and he dates you, and then dates her. It will almost be like ground one again because it'll be like a totally different person with different, love languages and different ways of you doing things and stuff. But I do see like I guess it'll be awkward of like showing him how you go to the bathroom and
Yeah.
shit. Like it's such a, and I mean I don't know like how you feel about your sexuality, but also like your like I guess nakedness. I'm trying to think of the word, but like your really personal stuff. Like I don't know how much you feel opening up to a new person. Like, are you okay with it, or do you kind of wait until it gets deeper? Because like an interracial relationship doesn't follow the same rules as the regular people in a
Yeah.
relationship.
And that's what I think that I'm struggling a little bit with dating right now is like how much is too much to share? Also, like some guys that I have been on dates with, we have each other on social media. I share a lot of my disabled life on social media. So how much do
Mm-hmm.
you already know? So I don't even have to say what I have to say. Like clearly you're fine with it. And that's something that I've like been hard to navigate because I also want to be like cute and girly, but I also want to be like I also don't want to waste my time like with someone
Mm-hmm.
and like and I also don't want to open up to someone who's just gonna be like, yeah, that's not for me. And be like, so
I
it's
mean,
interesting.
do you feel like you're like when with the guy that you dated? Do you feel like they're interested in learning how to like understand you, or is it more of you explaining and kind of like this is who I am and like this is what I have to deal with? Like almost you're not like self sabotaging, but like you also want to like put yourself out there so like you're not wasting your time. Okay.
I have like two different like scenarios I can kind of talk about that I like in my dating experience. I one dude like rarely ever even like mentioned it. Like, and I'm also very comfortable like with my body and stuff. And he like had never mentioned it. And then there was like never even like it never even like a wasn't even ever like a conversation. Like it was just kind of like what happens happens. Like it is what it is. But then I had on the opposite end someone who kind of like asked a lot of questions, like, and that kind of threw me off a little. And I am an open book, but also at the same time, I was like, damn, I don't want to share so much. Like I also like we're we're dating, Can we do this slowly?
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like you're like rushing into saying stuff. And then also like he felt like a little uncomfortable with things. And then it's also like, do you drop them when they feel uncomfortable? Or also like it took I have to remember it took me a long time to be comfortable with these things. Why do I expect
Mm-hmm.
someone else to be comfortable right off the bat? And that's also checking myself because I was ready to just be like, bye. But then I was like, wait, and I had to tell him, I was like, as long as you don't make me uncomfortable while you're getting comfortable with my disability, we can talk. But don't make me uncomfortable. If you start making me uncomfortable or feel gross for my disability, then I don't want to talk to you. But if you can be like nice and like open to the idea and like when things do occur, you're kind of like, instead of being, oh, like you're just more like, okay, like you take it in and tell me how you feel about it. Like, I don't know. So that's been like the
Ew, gross. Yeah, just the conversation is totally different because, like, I don't know how you are in person, but like, are you a person that can be independent on yourself, or do you have to rely on someone for some things? Like, how independent are you?
I could pretty much do like day-to-day life on my own. The thing that's like been interesting navigating is I had never really had to go like I never really left the house long enough where I would use the bathroom outside, like in public. And when I went on a date with one guy, I had to use the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom and I usually do it like in a laying position. So I just threw myself on the floor and I had
Oh shit.
to because I can transfer back into my chair. So I wonder how like other people would even navigate that.
I know, but if I just see you on the floor, like, what the fuck has happened? Like, do I have to help you or something? Just
Well,
as
it was
a
a closed
regular human
call.
being.
Nobody saw. Nobody saw anything.
Oh, okay.
You know, I just had to use the bathroom really quick. So that's been like interesting to navigate. Like just yeah, um, being out in the real world, trying to. And I he had made a comment that I took a while because I do like it takes a while. It's a process.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I, I mean, as a guy, if like a woman is like in the bathroom for a long time, I just think of like the date is not going well at all. She's probably like calling her friend, like, "How do I get out of here?" Or like, "What's the bed route?" and shit. Just not knowing. But I mean, you also, I feel like you understand like just guys you dated don't know if they never dealt with a disabled person. Why would they? Like, I didn't realize that you have to lie on the floor to go to the bathroom. That's
well,
insane. Like,
like
that's
a lot of girls
interesting.
can do it from their chairs. In that moment, though, like I had said, I never really went in public. Like I always make sure I can get home,
Yeah.
like to a friend's house or something. And that was like the first I was like, man, I really have to go. And we were gonna go see a movie, so I wasn't gonna be able to sit through like a 2 hour movie and I was gonna end up pissing myself. So I was like, I really have to go. So I have to do it. So I was like, how can you do this the most efficient way? I was like, throw yourself on the floor. Do it how you do it on your bed, but on the floor. That's what I did.
Just, I think like took a nap too.
I should have. But then after that, like it made me feel really confident because I was like, I just did that by myself. Like, yeah, it took like 10 minutes, but I did that by myself. Like, I hadn't done that before. But so it's, I don't know, I'm still like learning things. I feel like I'm always going to be learning things when it comes to this disability.
Yeah, I think you're like slowly like testing your limits of what you can or cannot do, because like just going to the bathroom in public for the first time without just in the middle of everything on a date, that's a high pressure situation too for both
It really
parties.
was.
And
It
no,
was,
I totally get where you're coming from.
it was interesting.
Is it basically like you want a guy that's interested and comfortable with it, but you also understand that they might not be comfortable with it, and it can be a little gross at times. And it's, I mean, dating itself is extremely hard with anyone because everyone has different ways of communicating,
Yeah.
unlike comfortness. And it's like, how do you Roshan is also dealing with like what are their intentions. So like you mentioned, like, oh, they just wanted to hook up with you. Let's just say they hooked up with a disabled chick and move on. That's I never have thought of that, but that makes sense. I know there. Like, have you ever come across like fetish people to disabled people?
Not like in person, but online. Yes, a lot of them.
I talked to other women and they have experienced it, but I have never experienced it. And I feel left out.
Really? I could send some your way.
Yeah. I mean,
They,
no, but like I feel like I would get something with my huge following and like huge outreach, and I have gotten nothing. I'm like,
did you check your message
am I
request?
like, yeah, I check it every day in case I get some like offers or something. And no, it's been pretty, like I'll get like news and such, which is really nice, but I don't get like someone like obsessed with me with my disability or anything like that.
I feel like the nudes is probably their way of trying to get to you.
Not really. Like they would be like, they send me news. I'd be like, oh, that's awesome, and then we never talk again. It wouldn't be anything. Like they wouldn't like try to form a relationship. It'd be like, hey,
Oh yeah, no,
I
really?
saw, yeah, yeah. Like they'll be like, oh, I saw you, and you seem like a cool person. Here are news. I'm like, sweet, there you go. But I never got that like obsession with me. Like, of course, I got like some crazy women like liking all my posts and like commenting on my stories, and like I don't respond, but like I don't feel like it's a fetish though. I just feel like they just like me a lot. But I think it's because I'm a guy too. But
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
There's
they never.
a lot of guy devotees, like the guys with fetishes, and they'll follow all the girls with disabilities. Um, but
I
there is
guess I don't know.
girls. There's some women
I
one.
just feel left out.
We could send some your way.
I don't know. I just
Um,
thought I'd be like popular here, but I guess I'm not. I don't know. Maybe they think I'm too like out of their league or something, and then they
yeah,
don't even approach.
you have too many followers for them. They're scared.
Nah, but
But I think sometimes they are scared that people are gonna put them on blast. Like, see, I don't put them all
I
on
mean,
blast. If they come respectful and when I say no, like, oh, now that's weird, and they're okay, okay, you're okay. But when they get rude, I'm putting you on. Like, there's one he's popular one named Zachary, and he be making different fake profiles all the time of different names. I don't know what his name be, but he's wild.
that's
He'll call you a bad,
that's crazy.
all types of bad stuff if you don't even respond.
Oh my god.
Get his
Shit.
feelings hurt.
Now I'm kind of happy I don't
He
get
recently
anything.
had one where he was pretending to be disabled.
Like what? Like what? What kind of mindset do you have to be in to be in that mindset of like trying to keep pursuing someone that keeps saying no? Like why?
I think it's like
Like
some,
don't you have like some? I know, but like don't you have like something else better to do? Or like I don't know.
I
Like
don't
just
know.
like
Especially he taking up
take an L and go home.
to pretend to be disabled so he could talk to girls and get because they what they like is like they like to know like he's gonna love this conversation. Like I'm gonna send him it. Like listen to this conversation and get you off, my dude. Uh
Hey Zachary, what's up?
enjoy the potty
Share my video, please. Share with all your friends so they can keep watching this.
because they like
I
to
need those views.
transfer. They like to hear how you like use the bathroom. They like that stuff. I don't know why, but they like
Um,
to see the spasms. They like to see yeah. It's interesting.
well, Zachary, if you want some photos or videos and you have an open wallet, please send me your way. I'll send you feet pictures. $100 per toe. That'll be a nice. That'll be a nice $1,000. That'll help me pay from a lot of things. So, if you're listening, Zach, hit me up. I'll hit you up. Hell, um, I'll get rich. I don't really care.
Wash your hands.
I'll like take a picture with you. Everything. Let's do it. I know. If you have money, I'll do whatever you tell me with money. If I name the price. So
No, Joe, no.
there you Yeah, let's do this. Let's make money here. That's all I'm doing here. I gotta make money. So if anyone into me and want feet photos or something, let me know. I'm all game.
Money to make the world.
Nikki's not, but I'll 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 do a dedication to all the disabled people. So I'm here. I'm an open book. Let's go.
He's ready to answer all your questions.
Yeah, that is weird though. Like, I guess it's comfortable because I've been doing it for a while on the podcast and stuff. But like, how do you feel like when you talk to me about all of this? Like, are you okay with, I guess, releasing it to the atmosphere of everything we just talked about?
Yeah, I feel like it's all stuff. I do a podcast with Live to Roll, so we talk about stuff like this all the time, and I just love this conversation, being real about it.
Of course, that's what I try to aim for in all my episodes. Try to be entertaining and
I noticed
some
that.
might be photos, but no, it's just entertaining and just liking to meet people and different mindsets and shit, and who knows what will happen. Also another thing I was thinking of like, so you say like the guy pretended to be disabled, and I feel like a lot of disabled people don't want to date another person that's disabled. It's almost a turnoff, right?
Interesting. I've
Well, I
thought
mean, I
about
just think of like,
it, and my sister says I'm ableist.
I think it's
You know, my
normal though. Like
I said
why would a wheelchair want to be with another wheelchair?
that's why I said I'm like we're both struggling, like we're both going through things mentally. Like I mean I know an able-bodied person he can go through things too, but at least it's gonna be a little different than what I'm going through. Like we need some variety.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be grounded by someone. You want someone to like lift you, I guess, literally and figuratively. But
Yeah,
like, yeah, you just wanted someone that can handle you, and then also, like you mentioned that you were like independent before, but like, if you have two disabled people and one needs help, like you're useless because you can't help that person. So like that person's on the floor, like what are you gonna do? Nothing.
yeah, likey.
So it's almost doesn't work out. Yeah, we're all ableist. I think it's a totally normal human characteristic, and like, so what if you're disabled and now you can still have preference and shit? And I think we're too. I think disabled people are too. They think too highly of themselves sometimes. Like, oh, we're appreciative of everyone and love everything, and I'm like, no, we're not. Maybe some people are, but no. Realistically, humanly,
No,
no.
I I've said this and I know I always get it sounds bad, but I couldn't date someone with a disability. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Hell yeah! Like, you have yourself. You don't want to deal with someone else's shit too.
Yeah. And like this is the thing too. I've thought like what if they become disabled though? Now like you're back at square one. But like would have happened. And then if that's meant to be, that's gonna be. But if I'm not
well,
gonna search for it, is what I'm saying.
well, I guess the next time I see you, you'll have a wedding picture of you and Jack. Okay.
He'll be in his wheelchair too for us.
There you go.
Like
Okay.
you have to bring the wheelchair.
Perfect. They're like $50,000. So he has a big bank account right there.
He must. Getting a wheelchair.
So before I take the mic away from you, is there anything you want to say? Promote any words of wisdom, the winning lottery numbers. The mic is all yours.
I don't think so. Just follow me, I guess. Say hi. And I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Okay. Thank you, Nikki, so much for giving me your time and expertise. Thank you, everyone listening and watching, especially you, Zach. And I'll see everyone next time. Bye.